This is the Investing News Network, and I'm Georgia Williams. We're here at PDAC 2026 in Toronto. Joining me today is Peter Ball, President, CEO, and Director of Silver Hammer Mining. Nice to meet you, Peter.
Nice to meet you too. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Very good, very good. Busy PDAC, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you tell investors what your ticker symbol is and where your shares trade?
Yeah, Silver Hammer Mining Corp. We trade on the Canadian Stock Exchange, or the CSE, and our symbol is HAMR, or HAMR.
Fabulous. And you had just brought it up, but it's the first day of PDAC. How has it been so far? Are you seeing a lot of investor interest?
It's good. I mean, this is actually, my first PDAC was in 1988. So if I add up the years, it's probably 38 years ago. You used to be held at the Fairmont here in Toronto, and I think this year is probably going to be a record, where I think the record a couple years ago was 30-some thousand, so we'll probably beat it. Lots of energy, metal prices are up. Like I run a silver company with my team, and seeing $85, $95 silver, it's absolutely spectacular.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This morning at the opening remarks, the president of PDAC was saying that this is the first time both buildings have been sold out. So I think that's a good indicator.
It's good to see the busy aisles, and it's good coming back every year. You walk down the aisles, and every 2 feet you're running into somebody you know, and everyone's got some smiles on their faces versus what it was like a few years ago. So yeah, it's a good time to be back in the sector, specifically silver.
Yeah, I bet you've met a few people if you've been coming since 1980.
Pretty much. I think I'm getting a little old, but yeah.
Silver Hammer is focused on the U.S.
Yes.
And you have some past producing silver assets.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you tell us a little bit about your portfolio?
For sure. So we're a pure silver exploration company based in Vancouver, but our assets are held in Idaho, which I think is one of the #1 silver districts in the world for exploring, developing, and mining silver. So we have 2 projects in Idaho. One's called the Silver Strand, which is a previous producer from back in the late 70s, early 80s, was mined down to the 90-meter level. They stopped mining. So we went through the permitting process to get the plan of operations, so it's fully permitted for actually not only exploring underground and surface along strike, looking for another potential zone at the project, but it actually also has potential, that has a permit for small-scale mining. So if local producers are wanting a little bit extra feed, we have the opportunity to extract it, or maybe look at it, developing it as we push forward. It's at a smaller scale, but it does open the doors because we have full access to it. A second project in Idaho, we have the Fahey project. The Fahey project is located strategically directly in the middle of the Silver Valley, which neighboring to the east would be the America's Gold and Silver, which is got their Galena project. And surrounding us on the western flank is Sunshine Mining. So it's a project that was held for 70 years by one family. I believe we were able to get it probably because some of our technical advisors and board members, specifically probably Don Byrek. Don Byrek is one of our senior board members and used to be the ex-senior VP of Coeur, Anglo, and Hudbay. And he was Prospect of the Year, highly respected explorationist. And the family knew of him, and they wanted to work with a junior company, so we were able to secure a strategic position surrounded by all the majors. It's getting a little bit of interest from the locals that we were able to secure it. So we're excited to get on both of those projects in Idaho this summer. So if we go down to Nevada, we have 2, so there's one mine in Idaho, which is at the Silver Strand. So if we go down to Nevada, we have 2 projects. One's the Eliza, and that is a large land position in the Hamilton Silver District. So if you head out of Vegas, 2 hours north and 1 hour to the west from Ely in the Hamilton Silver District. It controls 4 previous silver producers that have not been touched in 80 years. We're finalizing permitting for that one, and we'll be looking to test underground most of the mines, but also specifically right now we're doing a lot of work prepping for the summer program there once we're permitted. And inside, another interesting part of Eliza is inside the project we have the California patent. Mm-hmm. So the patent allows us to build a house or put our own building on there, or drill it whenever we want to. So we're going to be looking forward to putting a drill program on the California patent while we're waiting for the Eliza permit to come in. So it'll be a busy year at that project. And if we slide a little bit to the west towards Tonopah, where Black Rock Silver is, along the road just off the highway is a project called Silverton. We did drill Silverton in December. We're waiting for assays. We had to do some resampling of the assays. in another labs. We're waiting for those holes to be fully analyzed and released to the public. So a total of 6 previous producers, 3 projects. And one of the key parts about our portfolio is we own 100% of it. There's no royalties, there's no earn-ins, and it costs us about $38,000 a year to keep them in full standing. So except for Fahey, where we have to earn in on the project over the next couple, 3 years with the local family that we bought it off of. So that's kind of our portfolio in a quick overview.
It's quite an extensive portfolio.
It's good, yeah. It's the right place, the right time. Nevada and Idaho are some of the best places to look for silver. Nevada used to be the silver state. Idaho is, of course, the silver area in the world. You want to be looking for it. And, again, like silver, whatever it is today, $90, $95 an ounce, it gives us a really opportunity. If we hit on any holes of all our projects this year, I think we'll reward our shareholders from the investors that we recently brought in.
Yeah. And with past producing assets, sometimes there's tailings or reprocessing potential. Is there any of that at yours?
Picture, so these mines are 50, 70, and 80 years ago. Okay. So there's really a hole in the ground, some old existing workings, no infrastructure, but also they're really easily accessible. Mm-hmm. We can drive to site with a small little Datsun car or something if we really wanted to. And that's key. Infrastructure and access is specifically key, and it's good to be in 2 of the number 1 states, number 3 and number 7 in the world, according to the Fraser Institute, for actually going to a project and explore and having the ability. And the government's kind of pushing, the U.S. government's now pushing the access for critical minerals, and silver is one of those. So yeah.
And you mentioned the Fraser Institute, and they just released their mining survey, and Nevada is the number 1 U.S. destination, so you are in the right spot.
Exactly. Nevada has always and probably will be. It's an incredible place to work, and and having, again, it's all about timing this market, and we're fully financed now, and it's going to be a busy year on all fronts.
In early February, you announced a non-broker private placement.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Where do you plan on allocating that money?
First of all, the number 1 thing our shareholders want us to do is to drill. We're going to be looking at each of these projects and announcing very shortly kind of like an overview of a systematic approach about attacking these assets and which ones we're going to be drilling first, why, where. So again, we're looking at programs and using the funds that our investors gave us over the last week when we closed just approximately about $4 million is to apply it at the California patent, as I mentioned. Get some holes underneath the old California mine, and then within that project, or that project lies within Eliza, we want to really tackle some of the mines that are sitting in Eliza, but we need to wait for the permit, which is expected probably early summer. We're thinking probably about May. Again, some of the other funds will be used for Silver Strand. We were looking to do a program up there which we're fully permitted on, and also using the funds for an aggressive surface program at Fahey. That project is getting a lot of eyes on it, noting that we were able to acquire it. It was drilled incorrectly for the wrong types of rocks, the wrong formations. It has the Revette Formation, which is the type of rocks you're looking for in Idaho, specifically in the Silver Valley. It has 22 veins known to it. It's never been drilled at depth on either side of their mines. So we're in the right area, so you kind of call it a brownfields project because we're in the shadows of a lot of head frames up there. And probably, again, on the use of funds for the first time, probably in a couple years, we're actually going to spend a good portion on marketing, as we're doing today. We're trying to tell the story. We're trying to get the information to everybody. So we've hired an army of professionals like Investing News Network to get our message out. So we're going to be out everywhere, getting our story on every page, attending conferences, and going along with the drilling and the exploration we're doing at the projects. So it's going to be busy. We got to do our marketing.
Yeah, and I think that's really important because, when silver does really well, sometimes people will look to the majors, but the majors also need to acquire, new projects, and, explorers are where the new discoveries are coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of companies right now in the market, such as one of the busiest PDACs in its history today. So we need to get our name alongside or ahead of all of our peers and or competitors to ensure that they know our message. I love to talk. I love to get the story out. Yeah. I've been waiting for this moment to be cashed up, have the projects, have the permitting, be in the right place with the commodity. And I own a lot of shares myself. I own a few million shares. I put in a lot of personal money, so I'm here with a lot of the investors that recently put money in. We have no debt, we have no payables. We just raised $4 million. We had money in the kitty before that. So it should be a very busy spring. And I always tell everybody, the phone number on our website, it directly goes to me. There's no middle person. I answer every call. If you have 1 share or 10 million, you're kind of all the same to me. It's your money, and you want to hear what we're doing as we go forward. So I'm pretty transparent also. People know me about that. So.
And a lot of the analysts that I speak with always talk about, looking for companies that are invested in themselves. So it's really important that you also have a position. So I think that's great news.
Yeah, no, I've put a lot of money in personally, and I want to ensure, number one, that our shareholders are able to, have a return from their invested funds and be available to them at all times as we go forward, and to ask the hard questions. Phone me up any time of the day, even on the weekend. It doesn't matter. You're shareholders, and you deserve to have full access to what I know. That is public information.
Absolutely. A few weeks ago, the company started a geological analysis at the Eliza and Silverton projects in Nevada.
Yeah.
What is the goal of this analysis, and when do you expect to have some of those results available?
Yeah, so there's a lot of homework that was done on Eliza specifically, from the geophysics and the sampling and the structural analysis, and nothing was ever really put together. And we ran the geophysics about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So we hired a group that it's really good at basically compiling everything in preparation for what we anticipate is a pretty good drill program at Eliza. Doing our homework, running it by, and we have a really good board of advisors and technical committee that will be taking that information and helping us kind of vector into the targets we want to hit at Eliza, and potentially at Silverton again if the results come in good. We did an initial program on Silverton to see if there's anything under on the old mine. And if anything comes in, maybe we'll do a phase 2. If we don't see anything positive, because we don't know yet, we've got a lot of other projects to kind of go after.
And you mentioned the drilling and your excitement at some of these projects. What other catalysts can investors be on the lookout for as we head through 2026 into 2027?
Interesting. Of course, some of the number one catalysts are going to be us announcing programs and delivering results from our drill programs. I think it'll be a really interesting summer up at the Fahey project. Strategically, it's probably one of the best pieces of land in the silver belt that has not been tested. We've been approached by some of the top PhD geologists in the area that know the project and have been wanting to get their hands on it for a number of years. They have offered up their services, which I feel very lucky that they want to take their time to help us push that project forward. We have also been approached by a number of other groups to maybe look at some accretive acquisitions or other corporate actions. So we're looking at those behind the scenes. But again, for now, half the time those things don't work out. We've got an incredible portfolio. We're cashed up. Silver price is good. PDAC is rocking. It should be a good year, hopefully.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today, Peter.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be on Investing News Network. I'm glad to be able to tell the story to our investors.
I'm Georgia Williams, and that was Peter Ball, CEO of Silver Hammer Mining.